Hello everybody and welcome to today's Sunday sermon, which happens to be on the 17th Sunday in Ordinary Time. Today we are being challenged to know what is that which we value most in our lives. Today, in the first reading from 1 Kings chapter 3 verses 5 to 12, Solomon has just been coronated king. And he is praying to God. And God speaks to him and he says, Solomon, please, I will grant you a favor. Whatever you ask me, I will grant it to you. But first go and pray and think about it. No, he said, Dear Lord, grant your servant an understanding heart to judge your people. We always note and recognize Solomon for his wisdom. That's in fact what he was asking the Lord for, was wisdom. The Gospel from Matthew today, chapter 13, we see the story of the hidden treasure. Jesus gives this example of a man who finds treasure in a field. Then he goes home and he sells everything he owns and he goes and buys the field because the treasure is there. So when we find the treasure, we know this is everything that we need in life. Our task is to know what is valuable and everlasting. As children, we probably learned that we should be careful with what we know to be the most valuable. In nearly every age, I suppose, usually money is considered the most valuable thing from an earthly point of view. Spend it carefully, invest it so as to make more money, was the advice from our parents and elders, perhaps. So we nearly all know this. What is the most important thing that we can have, though? To answer this, we might need to do some thinking and praying and analysing. Some people say security is known these days as one of the most important things all over the world. There's food security, natural security, like at night to live in a house that's secure from the thieves and from the weather and from the elements. Security with a job. Have a good education and then have a good job and keep it so as to be secure in life. So when we've achieved all those treasures, then we must die. What is our treasure then? Are all these treasures that we have mentioned above, namely house, home, family, children, job, money, enough when we are in our final hours on this planet? I doubt. As believers, we know that to take us across the great divide of death, we need to store up treasures for ourselves in heaven. What are they? A clean conscience, owe nothing to anybody, doing works of charity, having that basic love for our fellow human beings, especially the most vulnerable and the poor, having done something great for them. And as I say many times, to do these things not to gain for ourselves a place in God's heaven, but rather doing good in gratitude to God for what He has done for us. God has simply shown us He loves us and has died for us. And He has given us a place in His kingdom. This is huge. We may take it lightly, but we shouldn't. We should marvel at it always, in the morning, evening, and during the day. Our lives can be a series of being good for the goodness shown to us by God and personally shown to each and every one of us. This indeed is the treasure. To be thankful and praise the Lord, and to live life that is wholesome and compatible with the goodness of God in our lives. And that is the treasure that we carry with us at our final hours. But do we believe it, know it, understand it? That is the question. Living our lives in total gratitude inspires us to forgive, to pray, to sing, to admire this God of ours, the treasure that somehow we find it hard to appreciate. You know the secret of how to be grateful and how to have this treasure in our lives. It's continuous prayer, and by prayer I mean talking to God. God is in our deepest being. Be friendly, be fond of Him, because He is fond of you. Prayer is often hard for us to find because of our frame of reference. What is that? The frame of reference means we refer to ourselves as, sure, I'm not good at praying. It's only for priests and nuns and brothers and holy people. Now, I'm going to say something to you who speaks that way and thinks that way. Forget all that. Pray as you are and not as you wish you were. Change this frame of reference. And you can rub it out like you rub out an old tape in the old cassette tape recorders. Or as we do now on our computers, we can delete and put in your frame of reference words like, God is my friend, who is close to me, my companion on the way, the one who loves me, who gives encouragement and forgives me, the one who makes right my wrongs, who is beside me, before me, behind me, above me, and in every breath. He's shouting to us from every moment of our lives, from every rooftop, from every mountain, in nature, in our experiences, no matter how difficult or how beautiful. He is there in all those places and events and relationships, and He is shouting your name, saying, Hi, I'm here, don't leave me out. Look for God because He is looking for you. I say fill your frame, like a picture frame, fill it with positives, like I've just mentioned. And the whole friendship with God will open up for you. You will grow in His love, believe me. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. So therefore, it is better to have a positive outlook about ourselves in reference to God. God is very close to us, very fond of us, closer than we are to ourselves, and more in love with us than we are with ourselves. That is definitely true. Therefore, let us cultivate that. That is the real treasure to nurture and cultivate in our lives. Pope Francis spoke to pilgrims on the 30th of July 2017 in St. Peter's Square just before the Angelus in reference to this theme as well. And he said that if we seek Christ, sacrificing everything in the process, in the end we find a joy that is worth far more than anything that we may have lost. He also continued and said, evaluating this invaluable treasure means that we lead to a decision that also helps us to sacrifice ourselves and be detached from the things of the world and renounce them. They're not the be-all and end-all, in other words. There's far more valuable things where we have touched on today. And then he said the decision of the disciples to sacrifice everything for their relationship with Christ didn't mean that they despised everything, not at all, but that they put everything into its proper order, the order of value of everything we have. Make a value what is the things that we have and put them in their proper order, and then place Jesus in there as the end of everything. Of course, this is all through prayer and through the knowing of Jesus, which we are able to do through our prayer and good works, and the sacraments, which we are so privileged to have in our church. May God bless you to have a beautiful Sunday, and that you may seek out this treasure that is the most valuable of all, which is Jesus Christ. May God bless you, and have a beautiful forthcoming week.